What's up, everybody? My name is Ryan Thomas. You are listening to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I'm joined by Eric Ellis tonight. What's going on, Eric? We just wrapped up part one. You ready for part two?
Let's do it.
All right. So, I've had a lot of people ask me, what do I want the Bills to do in the 2018 NFL Draft? And as everybody knows, whether it was last year or the year before, I swim in the NFL Draft. That is my waters. So I'm not going to go too far into what I want them to do yet because I got to review some things and go from there. But I will tell you guys which quarterbacks I like, which quarterbacks I don't like in this draft class, right now. We got a question from Ralph Moss. He asked us what direction will we want the Bills to go in, whether it's a veteran quarterback or whether it's a rookie quarterback or, whatever it may be. We don't want Tyrod Taylor. I don't. Everyone knows that. Eric doesn't.
Nope.
What direction do we want them to go in? So we're going to throw some scenarios out there. The Bills, going into this draft, they picked 21st and 22nd. Now that Kansas City and Buffalo have both been eliminated from the playoffs, which is great.
Yeah.
The fact that they picked 2 picks in a row, I'm not complaining about that.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. So, out of all the quarterbacks that are in this draft, where do you think you'll see these quarterbacks go? Like if you were, I know sometimes, like right now it's really early, so it's tough to kind of get, but Josh Rosen's going to go high.
Yep.
Sam Darnold's going to go high. Josh Allen's going to go high. Which team do you think Buffalo would have to trade with in order to move up to take one?
I don't know. It's going to be a little tough because the Jets aren't going to trade with the Buffalo Bills because they're a division rival. The Browns are the first overall pick, so I very much doubt they're going to trade down with anybody. And they wanted to try and find their quarterback, which, they have enough problems by themselves, and the quarterback is the last thing they need to worry about. But the only thing I can think of, maybe the Giants would be able to do it with us. I think the New York Giants would probably be willing to trade down for maybe a quarterback eventually. I'm not sure.
The thing with the Giants is that they don't know whether or not Eli is in their future plans.
No.
So if he is, at most, they're not going to have Eli start and have a dude sit behind him. Yeah. They're not going to have like Sam Darnold sit behind him or Josh Rosen. You don't take a guy that high to have him sit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. If it was like in the 20s, maybe he'd sit, but the Bills are in a position where they got to go get a guy to start now.
Another option, not to interrupt you, is San Francisco. Because they just found their guy in Jimmy Garoppolo. They could easily trade with Buffalo to get them towards the top 10.
Which I was on last night. I did an edition of the Thomas Take last night. And that, for my money, I know this is a Bills recap show, and we're going to talk about the Bills game and stuff like that, and adding on to it and things like that. But that was the worst decision that New England's made in their dynasty era because there's reports, and I'm not one of those guys to jump on a report. I really try to find out how true it is, how valid it is, and give my take on it. But there's a lot of reports from like inner Boston media where I rely on them just because I'm a huge Red Sox fan, obviously, and I want to rely on them for their radio and things like that because I enjoy listening to the games and their coverage of the Red Sox. But they're talking a lot of stuff about the Patriots completely falling apart because Belichick wanted Garoppolo to stay, and Kraft thought that Brady could play another 4 or 5 years, and Belichick doesn't think that that's the case. Jeez. So Belichick might leave the Patriots and coach a team like the Giants who are looking for a head coach, which would be huge.
Be great for Buffalo.
For the Buffalo Bills. So there's a lot of if it's true. There's a lot of reports though. I'm really starting to wonder if this is true. You really look at it from either end of the spectrum, like Bills moving forward. This game was a goddamn joke.
It was
this game was probably this game was their worst game of the season.
Yeah.
And it was a playoff game. So It was. I mean, like I just really thought of that. Like this game, dating back to the week 1 till now, the Saints game was a disaster. They got blown out, but they were never in position to win that game. This game, they could have won
easily. They could have. If their offense could have sustained one drive, they would have had this in the bag. They did sustain one, I guess I should say, but more than one. Just get multiple field goals if you possibly can, because your quarterback's not going to score any touchdowns the way he was playing today.
I just think that, like, there's a lot of fans out there that don't want the Bills to go down that road. They're afraid of the Bills going down that road and looking for another quarterback, so they settle on Tyrod Taylor and think that Tyrod Taylor is better than what he is.
And I think that's what it comes down to. He manages to get you a win as long as he doesn't play too badly. He doesn't force turnovers. Like
one of my good buddies, Samuel White, shout out to him. He's an avid listener. He made a really good point. We were talking about Tyrod, and he said, everyone says that Tyrod's a game manager, which he's not. A game manager is a guy, like when I think of a game manager is a guy that understands any and all situations within a game, whether it's the clock or how many timeouts we got, what's the down and distance, what plays do I need to get us down the field, to get us in position and not, disrupt anything. What Tyrod Taylor is a ball manager. He takes care of the ball. A game manager, to me, like that, when I hear the term game manager, just me personally, I think of a guy that knows any and all situations, that can look at a defense and dissect it and find the weaknesses in a defense. That's not Tyrod Taylor.
No, it's not. Tyrod
Taylor, at one point in the game, the one thing that really, you gave your two things that really miffed you during the game.
I did, yeah.
I'm going to give you mine. They're going to be two. I'm going to try to make them, even though one of them was the same, I'm going to try my hardest to make them different. The one thing that I hated in this game was seeing Tyrod Taylor take the field, and for people that are listening and can't actually see me, he was putting his fingers up in the air, like saying, come on, come on, come on. Hurry up. And I thought that it was the fans that he was trying to get going, when really it was the damn play call. He just wants the play call, wants to just run the play call, and if the play call is okay to him, he'll run it, not audible, see the defense, not snap the ball, giving the defense more time to see what it is that we're doing, and snap it, and the play is just a disaster.
And instead, usually it comes up dead.
Second, the thing that really agitated me was the refs again in this game. And I'm not trying to say that had the refs made the right calls, the Bills would have won this game. I think the Bills were destined to lose this game from the moment the clock went to 14:59 on the kickoff. But regardless, being the way that they were about to play, the way that they were going to play with their game plan, they were not going to win this game. But there was the Zay Jones catch that was a drop. I screenshot the play where the defensive back was already on Zay Jones, tackling him before the ball was even there. That should have been pass interference. The Tyrod Taylor injury, where he got his head slammed into the turf in the game at the beginning.
And it wasn't a necessary roughness.
Yeah, at the end it wasn't a necessary roughness, but in the beginning of the game, Miles Jack did that to Tyrod. Dante Fowler did that to Tyrod at the end. Miles Jack made two dirty plays. One, I believe, was on LaShawn McCoy, if I'm not mistaken, where he tackled him and kind of wrapped him up funny, like purposely. Regardless, I thought that there was a lot of room for penalties and getting to the damn ball when Charles Clay stepped out of bounds and snapping it to avoid the team challenging that play.
Yeah.
Was awful. What is it that you think, like if there's a snowball's chance in hell that Tyrod Taylor would stay on the team, what do you think, how do you think it would happen?
He would have to be the backup. He would have to be. I don't want him starting another down for the Buffalo Bills after this year. I don't. Yeah. It's just, after this season, I guess you could say. It's the ineptitude of this offense not breaking the passing yards they should be. I'm not saying we have an all-star receiving core, but we should be a lot better than they are. Kelvin Benjamin, Jordan Matthews has gotten hurt, but I mean, we have him. Zay Jones is a rookie, but he can still turn it on when he needs to. It's just, we need a quarterback who can
He
get
made a
us out
nice
of tight
catch today,
spots.
too, actually, earlier in the game.
Yeah, he did.
He did make a
He got us the first down. And
yeah.
it was huge. But, we need consistency. And Tyrod is not consistent. He'll have a play once in a while that's, incredible. He'll scramble and get the first down. Or maybe if he's lucky, he'll get a first down with a wide receiver. But it's never consistent, and that's what infuriates me the most.
Mm-hmm. It's just, as well as I do. And yes, if you're asking yourself this question, I am going to name names. There's these guys out there that defend this guy, and I love him. But one of my longtime best friends, Jordan Seeley, he tagged me in a post about Tyrod Taylor, about NFL Network talking about how great he is. It's Phil Simms, NFL Network, all these reporters come out and say how great he is. He's not great.
He just doesn't turn the ball over. And the reason why he doesn't turn the ball over,
he doesn't take chances.
He doesn't
take chances. He doesn't throw the ball downfield. And in this day and age of the NFL, you have to have a passing attack. The rules are predicated on it. The rules are, pun intended, tailor-made for a team to have a passing attack and win. We just saw 98-year-old Drew Brees throw a bomb to Ted Ginn.
Yeah.
We saw him throw a beautiful, it was almost like he tucked the pass in to Michael Thomas on the sideline. That is what, and I'm not saying that Drew Brees, a guy like Drew Brees doesn't grow on a tree. You have to find it. That's the tough part. But that's what they need.
They do.
And until they have that, they won't win a playoff game. They might be good enough to make the playoffs, but they could be in the same spot next year, and I don't want that. I want to see a progression, kind of like we've talked about Andrew Luck. Like he went to the wild card round, the divisional round, the AFC Championship. You want to see them knock on the door and continue to knock on the door and then kick it down.
Yeah,
and they are not going to do that.
No, they're not.
As long as they have this guy. And Jordan knows. I'm not throwing shade at Jordan. Jordan tries to be a believer, and God bless him. But I just can't do it. I can't side with this guy. I just can't.
You just can't settle. And,
no.
I mean, with Tyrod, that's what we're doing. I mean, you're selling for somebody who looks like he can be a long-term answer, but he's not. He's not the long-term answer. And we want somebody who, in the crunch time that we need him to be, the savior to go down a 80-yard play, drive. It doesn't matter.
You're
2
down,
minutes left.
You're down, and exactly. The point, beautiful point. 10-3 with 2 minutes left, and they lost 10-3. Granted, he got hurt, but he looked like dog shit.
Well, he had 3 plays until he got hurt.
Yeah,
the 4th and 3, they had to put in Peterman, who luckily got the first down, but then ended up getting an intentional grounding and then an interception. Which arguably shouldn't have been an interception.
Yeah,
but
the interception. Yeah, the interception was out there. That's another thing. And the interception was a play that I thought Deontay Thompson could have came back for the ball a little bit more.
He should have.
If you watch Peterman, he looked him down and threw it, but Deontay Thompson just held his hands out and just waited for the ball to get there, rather than attacking the ball and then cutting and running up, taking up.
Peterman's problem there was that he wasn't in him for too long.
Yeah, he was.
So the defense knew what he was doing.
He looked him down, and there's no doubt about it. That's a rookie mistake, and Tyrod does that too.
No, he does.
And that's why he had the first pick in the game. So. All in all, I mean, a great season. It was entertaining. It was fun.
It was.
They made the playoffs.
That's
they
all
went 9-7, 9-8, including the playoff loss. But I mean, they are getting better. They do have a great coach.
They ended the drought, and that's all that matters.
What is your prediction, your record for next season as we wrap up the last 40 seconds of this part of the show?
It'll be tough to give you that because I don't know who's going to be on the team next year. But
if they get a better quarterback, 10-6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say 10-6, 9-7 again.
Yeah, 10-6. Maybe if they sneak one out, maybe 11-5. Maybe.
I'll still stick with 9-7 just because I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I mean, it could be Tyrod again. It could be another veteran quarterback. It could be one of these star rookies that might be coming out. We don't know. I would love them to be 11-5, but
yeah,
or even 10-6 I'd take. But
well, what we'll do is we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about the rest of the NFL playoffs.